Today we're going to be adding and subtracting decimals. First, we need to review our place values. So we're going to have the number 321.123. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Hold on. There we go. All right, so we have 321.123. Now, let's review our place values. To the left of the decimal, our first number is 1. That is going to be in the ones place. Our second value is 2, and that is going to be in the tens place. Our third number is 3, and that's in the hundreds place. So we have 321. So now we're going to move to the right side of the decimal, where this first one right here, this is in the tenths place. And our second number, or 2, is in the hundreds place. And 3 is in the thousands place. So we have to remember to keep our place values and everything like that in mind whenever we are adding and subtracting decimals, because we have to keep our decimals lined up and add our right places. So to begin, let's do an example, and our first example will be 29 and 36 hundredths. Let's go ahead and make this bigger so we can see. Plus 33.79. Now, it is very important to remember when we're adding and subtracting decimals, we need to line up our decimals. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite that horizontal problem and make it vertical. So 29.36 plus 33.79. And now we can go ahead and solve this problem. So first we're going to do 9 plus 6 right on this side. And 9 plus 6 is 15, so we're going to write our 5 and carry our 1 because we only can place one value at the bottom. Now 7 plus 3 is 10, and we have that extra 1, so that makes 11. And we're going to carry our 1 again and make sure we bring down our decimal point. So there's 2 numbers behind the decimal point in both of our problems, and there's going to be 2 numbers behind our decimal point in our answer. Now, let's go back to our problem. 9 plus 3 is 12. We have the extra 1, so we're going to make it 2 and carry the 1. And 3 plus 2 is 5, but we have that extra 1, so we're going to make it 6. And our answer should be 62.15. We're going to be subtracting our decimals, which is very similar, but we're taking away. We still need to line up our decimal points, but we will be taking away instead of combining. So our first example is going to be 98.30. Let's go ahead and make this bigger. 98.30 minus 31.27. Now, we have to rewrite that so our points line up. So we're going to do 98.30 minus 31.27. All right. So let's go ahead and begin. So we cannot subtract 7 from 0, so we need to borrow from our neighbor. And our 3 is going to become a 2. And we're going to bring a 1 over in front of that 0 and make it 10. And 10 minus 7 is 3. So we have 3 in our hundreds place. Now we have 2 minus 2, which is 0. So we have a 0 and a 3. We need to bring down our what? Our decimal, correct? So bring down our decimal. And now we're going to go ahead and solve the left side of the decimal. 8 minus 1 is 7. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So your final answer is going to be 67 3/100ths because there's a 0 in the tens place. So we're going to read that as 67 3/100ths or 67.03. Now let's go ahead and try another example. You just give me 1 second to erase all this. We'll do another example. Let's do 12.43 minus 4.31. Go ahead and make this bigger. All right. Now we have to remember our first step is to line up our decimal points. So we're going to do 12.43, and then we're subtracting 4.31. And a little trick I like to do is I like to put a 0 as a placeholder, because now it lines up perfect and my 1's not just a little straggler all by himself. But the 0 is optional, it is just a placeholder. So next, what we're gonna do is subtract. And we're gonna do it the same way as the last one. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. Then we're gonna bring down our decimal and solve the left side now. And 4 cannot go into 2, so we're gonna take away this 1, and that becomes a 0. And this 2 gets a 1 right in front of it. So 12 minus 4 is 8. And 0 minus 0 is 0. Ooh. Let me fix that really fast. I don't know what just happened. But so our answer is going to be 8 and 12/100ths. So now let's solve it in a real world example. And once again, we're gonna use money because everybody uses money. So for example, we're gonna say Charlotte has $15.12. She went to the bookstore. Oops. She went to the bookstore and spent, we'll say Charlotte spent $10.15. How much money does she have left? All right, so let's go ahead and solve this now. All right, so Charlotte has $15.12. She went to the bookstore and spent $10.15. How much money does she have left? So let's look at our key numbers. She has 15 and 12 to start off with. So let's write that down. 15 with 12 cents. She spent $10.15. So spent means she's getting rid of. She is taking away the money she currently has. So we're subtracting. So it's 15.12 minus 10.15. And remember, our first step is lining up our decimal points. All right, let's begin. So we cannot subtract 5 from 2, so we're going to take away, make this a 0, and put a 1 in front of that 2. So now it's 12 minus 5, and that is 7. Now we can't take away 1 from 0, so we're still, just like normal, gonna take away, make this a 4, and bring a 1 in front of the now a 0. 10 minus 1 is 9. So 97. Bring down our decimal point. And now we have 4 minus 0, which is 4. And 1 minus 1, which is 0. We don't need to write it. It's just a placeholder. So our answer is going to be $4.97. And that is how much money Charlotte has left over. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and break off and do our independent worksheets. And I'll be walking around the classroom. If you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand.